It began with the admiration of God's people. There are still God's people who obey Him despite their own desires, forsaking the thorn in the flesh and reaching out for Jesus, not for immediate gratification. There are still God's people who obey Him despite their own desires. How admirable to have this representation of God. God's people talk about God and appreciate issues concerning His kingdom. How nice. God's people live to His expectations, I guess. From afar, I never knew God's people were blemished in some areas of life and that it was God who elevated them so high. God's people I thought were flawless and never told a lie, although they dressed in tie and dye. And even if they die, it was a peaceful one. Never knew God's people hurt and can be hurt too. I didn't know, so I just went with the faint flow. My thoughts I never considered to be slain like my sins laid on the cross because that was what I saw. I get in touch with God's people. I interact with God's people and all I see is an amazing personality. But I failed to recognize their weaknesses. It was not obvious enough. Until I stopped perceiving God's people as superhuman rather than normal people too, maybe I would continue to disappoint myself when I didn't do the appointment. Elevating my expectations so high when I was supposed to trust God and draw nigh. Trusting human beings, thinking they are devoid of spots, adamant to hurt. I thought they were perfect. I placed my hope in them to the core depth, thinking my relationship with man will always be the same. But I have come to the realization that people change and God's people too can change, and that is not a shame. I only had to bear the pain. But the truth is, God remains the same.